Hello, fellow watchers and enjoyers. Welcome back to Watching Walford. This time, a lovely little tier list. Straight into your veins, straight into your minds. This time, a 2010's characters tier list. It's the only real way I could describe this very bizarre bunch of characters. We have a decent chunk of like 2019, 2020, bit of 2021, but we also have some legends like old boy Ian Beale. Todd isn't in there, but should. My God, I'm going to have to squint for some of these. You have Sean, we have Mel. There's a wide range of characters that we're going to get through in due course. We'll say, gonna have to squint.
Yeah, fuck me. There is some that I don't know. But I will pretend that I know.
Yeah, Piggy went, oh yeah, I know most of them. Takes a look. I don't know any of them, by the way. Sound.
Fine.
Cheers.
So good, we had to inject it twice like ketamine. So without further ado, do you want to do it? How's everyone doing? Or do you want to get straight into it?
No, straight into the 2010's characters tier list. The way these tiers are named this time is I would die for you, like, you're right, dislike, hate. So, obviously, I don't need to explain the tiers for you. Pretty fucking obvious. But let's start. The first character is Abby Branning. Now, of course, I've made the argument tons of times. Abby Branning is one of my favourite characters in this time period, and she's just great. She's that right amount of... Look, I love characters in soaps that are unhinged as fuck. And I can't lie, alright? It's a weird personality kink of mine. Not kink. Not kink. Weird personality quirk of mine that I do love an unhinged character, and Abby encapsulated that so much. Also helps how she was involved in a decent chunk of the Ben Mitchell stuff, where she decided, he is gay, but he's straight for me, and it's like, Abby, come on. Then the story with that babe, absolute gold. For me, Abby has to go in the I would die for you category.
To give my point of argument, I agree with this. She's not in that for any reasons for me, except for that iconic scene that happened in 2017, I think.
Roughly.
The Christmas, obviously, where she falls off the roof. Emotional scene, and then you have my father snoring like a Minecraft zombie. You know? Just
making all the fucking noise.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
Also, as a whole, I strongly believe that Lauren probably should have been killed off instead of Abby. It feels... It's still one of the really big... it's one of the things that makes you scratch your head, because so many cool characters that you could have brought back again and again were killed off in the 2010s, like Derek Branning, like Michael Moon, like Abby, like Ronnie, like Roxy. Not Fatboy though. Not Fatboy. But yeah, immediately straight into the I would die for you category. Oh, Jesus Christ, let me bloody squint in.
Zach.
That's not Zach. That is Adam. Adam was a dentist who was with Honey for a time period after she split with Billy. I think they were trying to explore this I don't think it was quite coercive control. But the kind of a relationship with someone where you slowly control their life and everything they do, and you make them fully dependent on you. I don't quite think it was there. But this was at a time where Honey was struggling with body image issues, and I think she was struggling with an eating disorder. And at this time, so I don't think it was a coercive control thing. I don't even think it was pretty abusive. It was just Honey was struggling with an eating disorder, and then Adam started to have an affair with Habiba, who was I think they were family friends in a way. He was a foster kid for Miriam and Arshad, and I mean in the end it culminated as Ikra told Honey that him and Habiba were having an affair, And it was equally as messed up because Habiba had never slept with anyone before. Like, this was her, like, oh, you know, I'm in love with him. It's going to be my first time. It's going to be perfect. And obviously, to him, it's just fucking Tuesday. And Iqra tells Honey, and then and then it learns that he's also been seeing another woman, and then Honey throws him out, but he hits him in the face with a fucking wheelie bin and chucks him out the fucking flat. Great. Not an interesting character.
The bits I've seen bits of definitely most of these characters. Probably definitely one or two. Like the ones that I don't recognise at first, I will need a fucking little magnifying glass gun.
Yeah.
Who are you? And also, if you're wondering why I'm looking there, it's not because I'm being held hostage and someone's holding up a piece of paper. It's because I have it on my phone. So it's even tinier screen for me than it is for Ash.
Yeah.
So it does look like I'm being held hostage, but I'm not, I promise. I think.
Anything else to say about Adam?
Adam, he was a dentist, and that's all I can say. And dentists are creepy bastards. So there you go.
Don't really agree with that last bit, but...
Okay, all UK dentists.
Right. But yeah, for me, he's going in the dislike column. He is okay. He was average. I'm just amazed he made it, like, through a year, honestly. Like, it's like how the one scene I remember vividly about him was Honey was wearing something a bit, like, sexier because she was trying to, like, feel better about her body. And then he just went, that's a bit much for you, isn't it? And then obviously what she wanted to hear was like, oh, you're beautiful. Oh, gorgeous, you know. Glad you're feeling more confident. What she got was like, that's a bit much for you. Fucking hell. But yeah, dislike, not strong enough to hate, and nothing else. Right, next up we have Alfie Moon. Now let's just say, this is judged in the parameters of the 2010s. I'm putting him in hate. Fuck him. I absolutely hate Alfie Moon in this period. Yeah, sure, the initial return wasn't that bad. Because, you know, they came back, Kat was pregnant again. But then you had to do Who Shagged Kat as a storyline, which ended up being Derek Branning, and Michael Moon was in there. And it just gets really muddied. And then you obviously have 2014 where they're having the kids, but Alfie's just constantly being a dick. I won't spoil it because obviously we're fucking not there yet in the watching through. And then obviously 2018.
You know what it's like? It's like when you walk into a shop and you really want an ice cream, or not an ice cream, but you really want, like, you know, ham. Or not ham, but, you know, something in the frozen section. And there's like two of them. There's one right there, you know, it's big, it's juicy, you really want to eat it. And then there's a second one. And the second one looks like it's been hit by a fucking truck. So to me, it's literally like you're walking and then you see something on fire in the distance. That's how I describe it. So Alfie's time on the show in the 2010s, it goes from all right, and then you go, fuck, is that a fire? I need a closer look at that.
I think it was just also a really bad run of storylines, because one of the first things they had back was Kat returns pregnant. You get the famous line like, what, you just thought I was fat? Like walking around with a massive belly bump. And then they have the baby, which is Tommy. And I'm 90% sure that's the baby swap storyline. Which... not really the best start, you know, didn't really get the best response to the old baby swap storyline. Carries on, introduction of Michael Moon. Baby's not actually Alfie's, it's actually Michael Moon's instead. Fucking hell. Carries on, gets with Derek Branning. Oh, fuck me. Just keeps it fucking going. We get closer towards 2014, they're having twins, Alfie doesn't want to get a fucking job. And then there's some fucking insurance job with a fire. And yeah, it goes, and then obviously you get to 2018, it goes from bad to worse. And then he isn't seen till 2022. So in this time period, I feel like it's reasonable to put him in the hate column.
I do wholeheartedly agree to it, because people will go, it's just different times. Look, you look at Nick Carter in 2018. He's getting all the good stuff. He's going around kissing babies and fat women. He's getting all the spotlight.
That's
Then
not
you
even
go
on
to
camera.
And then you go to Alfie Moon, who has to kiss a fucking pug, and it's like two different people. It's like if Nick Carter was the dustman, Alfie was the guy who had to be in the recycling centre, fucking digging out trash,
Yeah.
and swapping what goes in the plastic section.
He's at the fucking dust, like at the he's at the tip, having to like fish out like a fucking old mop that looks slightly new because you're gonna sell it to someone. That's Alfie Moon this period. Next up, though, we have Aunt Babe. Your immediate thought?
My opinion from what I've seen, I've obviously seen the iconic meme of the "I curse you," and obviously she hasn't been seen since. But what I know of Aunt Babe is she's a great character. I hear nothing but praise, and I hear mostly praise for her. Maybe that's because of the Aunt Babe Twitter account.
Definitely is.
But I do see people clamouring, because I'm looking at this from a perspective of now in 2024. I do see people going, bring back Aunt Babe. And I honestly would bring her back, but in this time period, she's phenomenal. She just hates everyone. She is essentially, you'll always have two grannies in your life. One granny who's old and miserable and fucking hates everyone, and would lightly comment, like, you wear a skimpy shirt that says, I hate Woodstock 96. She'd go, fucking hippies, back at it again. Then you have the other granny who's more calm. It's like, I'll give you 5p there, Derek. Here's 5p, buy something nice. She's obviously the other granny who's like, I fucking hate the hippies. Like, she's the one who lives in a caravan, fucking just hates everyone, hates herself, hates society. She doesn't have a cat, sadly, but if she had a cat or a dog, it would totally make up for it. But yeah, she's a great character.
Yeah, Aunt Babe, and look, it is predominantly because the fucking Aunt Babe Twitter account, because you do just get a bunch of great bits where it's like, what's the thing where it's like pay up pervert, and she's like typing it all like shit. Oh, it's just, there's so many good lines that you just have to appreciate. And real respect's real. We respect Aunt Babe. I would die for Aunt Babe. Alright. Next up is Ben Mitchell. Now, I will say, this is also in the confines of the 2010. So this
Actually,
is just... Yeah, it is.
This is written on Ben Mitchell.
Yeah, but he came back in 2019. Right?
Yeah, this is not the one we know. That's Bowden Ben Mitchell.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I thought you were going to say this is covering all 2010s. This is not. This is
No.
clearly covering 2019.
Yeah, but the point is... Well, my point is, we can't judge him for where the character is now in comparison to where it was in 2019. And where was Ben Mitchell in 2019? Well, the Max Bowden reappeared a much more raw, a much more visceral Mitchell. And this year was mostly about the need to be loved by Phil. He came back with a point to prove. He came back with Lexi and Lola, trying to A, be the son that Phil wanted, but also hating himself because he was never enough. And I like this characterization of Ben Mitchell. It is a really interesting one. And even then, so in the first year, you get the start of Ballum, when it was healthy, when it was happy, when it was actually really exciting. I was a Ben Mitchell stan at this point. And I'm pretty sure you get the wedding in this year. Like, it all was going fucking well in this time period for Ben Mitchell. And at this point, I would die for.
I wouldn't put him that high. Personally, I put him a bit lower. I'm still not sold on him, but that's just me. Even at this time, I wasn't sold on him from the episodes.
You were watching it this time.
I was watching about 2 episodes a year, mate. I was watching.
That's what I'm saying.
But like, from the clips I've seen and the highlights I've seen, it is a much rawer. Like what's the guy playing before? Harry Reid.
Yes.
Harry Reid is a. So how can I put this? If there was a band reunion, right? So Harry Reid is when the band first starts out. You know, they're getting all the guitars ready. They're coming back. So it's the 80s. You know, everyone's partying, having sex. They're doing upbeat music. Well, this Ben Mitchell is like when they go, okay, it's the 90s now. We're gonna change. We're now grunge. Like, you know, this is where you get the grunge. This is where you bring in
that's a pretty good take, honestly.
That's where you bring in all the edgy guitars, and they're like, you know what I hate? I hate the world. Fuck you, Dad. You're not great to me. You molested me when I was 10. I hate the world. I hate the world. I hate the world. Fuck you, society. You know, it's like that edgy band, you know, they're coming back. And then eventually the bandman gets his boyfriend or girlfriend and they kiss. And then the girlfriend fucks him over in the end. And he's like, I fucking hate my girlfriend. Gets divorced, kills himself. And then we all forget about it because that band was Nirvana.
I thought you were going to say like Flock of Seagulls or something. Just an absolute niche fucking reference out there. You know, one-hit wonder.
Seagulls are a great band, though, I will say.
I only know the one song.
I know most of their songs. I can't name them. Can't name them right now.
I know all of them. Don't know any of them. Sound. But look, I'm going to use my executive powers. In 2019, I was a fucking ridiculous Ben Mitchell stan. Like, Ben Mitchell was my favourite soap character of all time. And he's still up there. I may not like the direction that the character went, but that's not because I hate Max Bowden or I just hate Ben Mitchell. It's just, if I was writing it, I would do it differently. I would, just being a tragic character, I'm not in 2019 anymore. I don't need this character to constantly get fucking stabbed in the ribs. I want you to be happy. I want you to get better, and I get it. The character turned into a ball of fucking trauma, and that sucks. And it really does suck, and it sapped out a lot of the enjoyment of the character. But me and this time, I would have died for Ben Mitchell. I was even posting on the subreddit. Like, I was like, oh, look at Ben in the suit. Oh, like I was that level of unhinged. So he's getting up there.
But I will let you use your that doesn't work for me, brother card. I will let you use that.
The executive privilege.
The executive privilege of editing this video. He has 3 of them. So he can pull them out anytime he has.
Exactly. So the next one.
He's probably going to use it on some obscure character called fucking Ava from like 2015, who he only liked because he had a teenage crush on her. He really has to go, I would die for you.
I feel very called out here, mate. I feel very called out. Just because I see a character coming up that's right in that category for me. It's not Bernie, though. Who is next?
So yeah, Max Bowden does go to the top of the tier. Bernie, so we're judging this based on her first 3 to 4 years, I'd assume.
Her first year? She was only introduced in 2019.
Did her chess era begin at this time, or was that later on?
No, there was no chess at this time. The issue with Bernie is the introduction was really strange. Like, oh no, she was in 2017. I'm wrong. I'm fully wrong. It was 2017. She initially got brought in and was pregnant. And then for a genuine second, they thought the baby was Keanu's, with how trashy the family was at the time. But obviously this baby ended up being stillborn, and, you know, they had to deal with the aftermath of losing a child and struggling with it. She did end up playing chess, and I think this time period is where she has her like coming out with Tiffany and being interested in Tiffany, but Tiffany's like using her, and like it's not fun, but they do have this really strong dynamic and this genuinely good friendship. So I think that's where she goes for me. She did a lot more stuff in this time period than I remembered.
Yeah, I definitely, from what I remember of Barney's early years, I just remember her playing chess with that old man, and that old man fucking off. I believe he died, or
Old Ted.
Ted left, or had a heart attack or something.
I think he fucked off because because they wanted to do the old couple, and then they didn't because it wasn't the same.
Yeah, I don't know my Ted history, I'm sorry guys. But from Barney, I don't know Barney's introduction really well, but I do know the chess era and Tiffany obviously being like,
yes,
you're a lesbian and interested in me. You want to see my tits? You can't. Give me 50 quid. Give me 50 quid. I really need to buy that Philly cheesesteak from McBlunky's.
For 50 quid. Mate, you get some equity for that.
Imagine what I can do with 50 quid. What can I buy here? You can buy a fucking table, mate. You can buy a fucking table. But obviously I've seen that bit. I've seen some scenes with Tiffany and Barney being lovely. And I do agree she goes into I like. Wouldn't die for her.
No, definitely not.
But I have a crazy prediction regarding Barney. I think the body on the floor. In the year 2023, there's going to be a channel called Watching Walford, right? You won't know this channel yet, Ash.
This is self-indulgent.
No, you don't know this channel. And I predict that it's one of the host characters, Dad, is going to predict that one of these members of this the Taylor family is going to die at Christmas, called Keanu Taylor. And then Barney's going to solve out the crime.
Yeah.
That's just for the Reddit video. That's it.
That's self-indulgent as fuck, that. Right, next up is Bex Fowler. Character who is obviously Martin and Sonia's kid. Got to grow up on the show. She dealt with a big bullying storyline. And I think she leaves at the end of the decade, like 2019, in the boat crash. She has a bad experience with pills. And so she goes travelling at that point. Was that 2019? Was that 2021? I don't know anymore. 2020. Okay. She had that weird interest in Kush, who she got a bit obsessed with because obviously her first love was his brother Shaki or Shaquille, I don't remember how you say his fucking name, who died in a tragic stabbing. And it was mostly just Martin and Sonia raising a rebellious teen, like emo daughter, or goth daughter, probably is more the word.
Listening to Sunny Day Real Estate. Listening to Sunny Day Real Estate.
Yeah. Now, do you have much to say about Bex?
I love Bex Fowler. She was your teenage crush. She was my teenage crush. We both we don't have the same interest in women. Let's just ask one on a lovely day. Have her sit down. Pull her chair up. Me, I want her to bend me over and break my back and make me humble. So me and Ash are two different kinds. We're two different kinds of animals. But we both agree that Bex Fowler is a lovely woman, and we would both bring her out for a lovely dinner. A lovely 5-star restaurant, buy her the nicest steak possible, and then throw it in the waiter's face and go, "I didn't order that." And
I do love how in most situations when people talk about women, they talk about the women like they're a piece of meat. Obviously, I don't love that. That's fucking horrific and misogynistic. But when you do it, the only person you degrade is yourself. It's the fucking catch for 22. It's great. You don't have to worry about Piggy saying anything misogynistic. He's too busy fucking himself.
It's like when people go like, "Oh, do you think this person's hot, Piggy?" I'm like, "Can she peg me?" That's the real question. Can she degrade me?
Piggy keeps it real. But yes, Bex Fowler, teenage crush. Love the character. She's great. It's absolutely great. Not even that interesting a character, I can't lie. Like, she did fuck all on the show. I can't. She had that bullying storyline. She's done. That's it. That's all she had. I guess she did have the attempted suicide storyline at in that 2020 time period, because shit was going rough for her. And we got to see Lisa actually be like, "Yo, she's fucking struggling bad, alright." But I love her. Love the character. All right, next up, Bianca. I don't know where to stand on this. In this time period, this is kind of probably not peak Bianca, because I'd kind of say that's anywhere between like the 90s to like that 2008 return. But I will say, she does make up a very big part of the show for this like 2010s period. She's like a constant presence. She's a constant like reminder, and she always gives you like fireworks no matter what she's fucking doing. And you even get her like, did Ricky fuck off in 2008, or was that 2012?
I couldn't tell you.
He fucked off in he fucked off in 2012.
Yeah, in 2012, I knew that. Yeah.
So you obviously have the reunite with Ricky. You have the like Tiffany's parents being Ricky and Bianca. You have the Great Return trailer where the Queen Vic like glass smashes. Ricky, fucking glass shattering. Ricky just like, ugh. Because obviously he can't handle being called Ricky anymore. You had the constant triangle between Ricky, Sam, and Bianca. And
was that the? That wasn't Kat Maldoff, was it? No, that was
Kim Metcalf. Nah, they went back to They went back to Daniela Westbrook for that period. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just like, no, the Sam Mitchell recast always confused me, because they go, okay, we're bringing the first one in, and then she can't come back, so we bring in the second one.
Yeah.
But then she can't come back, so we bring back the first one, and then she can't come back, so we bring back the second one. It's like, just choose one of them.
I mean, they chose the right one. They did choose the right one. I think the last one, she was involved in catfishing men for money on the dating app, and it could be bullshit. It could just be like media. But it's something like her profile was like rich men.
Wait, is this in real life or on story?
This is real life. Apparently, allegedly. There we are, covered. But Bianca, in this time period, I think we can agree, like.
Yeah, because obviously, because I watched Christmas 2013 and I'm watching 2014 with Ash. Sorry, it's a bit slow, guys, but you know, we have people and we do have lives.
We have been quite busy.
Yeah, we have lives, in quotations. But from what I'm seeing of Bianca, I'm loving Bianca. I'm loving Bianca and Terry. Also, I guess we're counting her 2019 run. She came back for a few episodes, got into a jail cell. Oh,
yeah, at the wedding.
Yeah. Then she gets into the jail cell with Kat, and they're having a little giggle and a laugh, and then they fuck off together. Then she goes back to Milton Keynes, which I just found out it has a Smith, so I'm going, maybe I'll move to Milton Keynes.
I mean, it's just a place in Cornwall, mate. It's not that fucking. All I'm saying is your taste is shit. Sound. Alright, so happily in like. Yeah. We've established that. We've said enough nice things about Bianca. Alright, next up we have Billy. And this is Billy in the 2010s. Who I think was absolutely fucking pathetic. Like, sorry, Billy. I fucking hated you in this period. The most interesting stuff you did was carry the Olympic torch. And that episode's great, and that episode's legendary. Because it's like that Alfie gets a condom episode, where everything that could go bad, goes bad. But in the end, and it's the beautiful fucking thing. And in the end, he only carries the torch for like 20 seconds. But the whole episode's built into it. And then he goes to McClunky's and fucking finds Lola giving birth to Lexi. That episode, goated. Fantastic. Everything else Billy did in the 2010s, Fuck right off.
I think I found the video we're doing for the 2024 Olympics. Staying on that fucking market train. But yeah, what I've watched throughout the 20, because for people who don't know, I did kind of catch up on EastEnders in the 2010s. I would go in and out of periods. You know, you'd stick it on the telly,
Yeah.
watch it. Obviously, you'd watch it at Christmas and then you have your going, it's fucking shy. It's not like Emmerdale Farm, you know, or Home and Away.
It's
But
like, man,
Billy-
it's not been Emmerdale Farm for fucking 30 years. Fucking.
But Billy, he's pathetic. If Alfie's the one who they went, we want a bad boy. Billy's the one where they went, wouldn't it be funny if we cock blocked him at every chance we could get? We just
Like, and even in the time we're watching, he's fucked off his relationship with Honey, who is fucking 50 times the person Billy will ever be for Tina. And it's like, she's a lesbian, come on, she's not interested, for fuck's sake. It was the beer goggles, Billy. It was the beer goggle. We've all done it. We've all seen someone just in a whatever mood we were feeling, like, oh, but yeah, they're fucking, wow, love them. Night after, oh, fucking, I want to do that then. Why has that happened? Why the fuck have I done that? We've all been there. But fuck you, Billy, you pathetic little fucking wimp.
Yeah.
Especially
Billy's how I describe my sex life, personally, in this time period.
Especially because him in like the late 2010s as well, like him constantly hanging around Honey, hoping that she's going to give him another chance, despite the fact that he cheated on her. Like, just fuck her right off. Not gonna. Is it dislike? Is it hate? I think it's dislike.
It's dislike.
Dislike these nuts in your mouth. Got him. Bobby Beale. This is Bobby Beale. Whoa, God, no, we have to... Just because it's the recast, we can't disregard the Who Killed Lucy stuff. And that sucks. Because I really like recast Bobby Beale. I don't like Who Killed Lucy Bobby Beale. Whatsoever. He was a little shit. And then they decided to make him evil. They decided to actually be like, well, killing Jane was an accident, but I'll fucking beat Jane half to death with a hockey stick. What you doing that for? What you doing that for, lads?
I don't know where to put this one really, because it's unlike the Ben Mitchell who's been recast at this time, and we're counting the tail end of that. Not the decade, slightly into 2020. We have to include everything for Bobby, because if we don't, we're only going to be including when he turned religious.
Yeah, like I will say his return a pretty packed year. He starts to, he returns. He has to deal with the fact that he's back on the square after killing his sister, well-loved person on the square. He then does gradually convert to being a Muslim, and he's practicing and gets accepted. He has the weird episode where he's on drugs and then wanders onto some train tracks and Callum finds him. But he didn't do much in that period. And judging everything, I'm considering putting him in hate. I can't lie.
I would agree with that, because
he doesn't do enough to wash off the stink that is the post-killing Lucy stuff. He's not super, he's not super low on the hate list, but he's not high up there either.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, next up we have Callum Highway. Or, in the earlier times, Halfway, but they retired that name. Came onto the show in 2018, and he was just like a family friend of the Carters. He arrives as he shoots Mick in like a robbery, which is very weird. And yeah, he transports a Savannah stolen goods for Cara Maguire, shoots Mick, and then he gets back into the Carter family, and he works behind the bar, and then he has this really awkward relationship with Whitney, where, I mean, I'm not saying they knew he was gay, but they treated him like he was a gay man trying to be straight. Probably not intentionally, but you know, you see most like male characters characterized as like, oh, you know, like they love women, they absolutely adore women, to do anything. Callum was like your awkward mate who can't get through 3 sentences without saying something, without like incriminating himself. So, oh yeah, isn't it funny? Don't you sometimes you get so anxious that sometimes you just shit your pants, and then the girl's like, sorry. It's like, oh no, I didn't mean shit your pants. I just mean shit so hard that you just can't walk anymore. It's like, no, but what I actually mean is then you take off the pants and you swing around your head, so you air it out, and then you flip them inside out, and then you put them back on. And then at that point, they just fucking run away like, nah, sorry.
He's not the mate who would bully you for being gay. He's the mate who will get bullied for people calling him gay. And he'd be like, no, I'm not gay, but he has a beautiful cock. He has... I love Danny Dyer, but did you see the size of his buttocks? I'm not gay. Can I not appreciate a man's buttocks? I was like, are you gay halfway? No, but I'm halfway in the closet.
And yeah, and this continues. He continues to be with Whitney, and then we get the really stupid, the fucking one scene that still buckles me to this day. Is Whitney tries to like send a message to Callum that, oh, I'm pregnant. So she goes and puts a bun in the oven. But they forget about, I don't exactly remember the payoff, but they either forget that the bun's in the oven and it burns, or it just fucks up in some way. And it's very Whitney to get angry that he didn't understand what she was trying to imply by putting a fucking bun in the oven, for fuck's sake. And then you have the thing where it's like, oh, you know, I'd love to have kids, you know? And I guess then you get... I don't remember when exactly Stuart gets introduced, but you get to see Stuart's relationship with him. And obviously you have the Ballum stuff, which at this time, very exciting. All the famous lines, like Ben smelling just... I smell a queer, and it's like, oh, fucking, oh, absolute camp gold, glorious. So I think he's the first to go, and you're all right.
Yeah.
Like
this is where they were working the kinks, I would say. They didn't know what to do with him, so they made him they made him lofty, basically. But he's gay, but he's into music. And it's an art form. Like he's a clumsy idiot who might secretly be gay, and then
but they didn't decide that yet.
Yeah, it's like it's almost intentional. It's like they knew he was gay, but never wrote it into the script.
Yes,
he just came off that way, and they went, you know what, halfway, you're gay.
I will say his coming out storyline is pretty interesting as well. You have the Ben stuff, then you have this like backstory of how in the army there was a guy who they both had like unspoken feelings for each other, and it was never really addressed, but he died, and like his sister came along and they went, yeah, but you know, he always talked about you, and then it was very heavily thought about but not actually, like, you know, it was just very good. So I could probably put him in like, but fuck it.
I do love the one scene with his dad, I want to say, who's homophobic.
Yeah.
Obviously, you get all the Brexit geese and come and go, don't understand why he's
he is absolutely Brexit geezer to a fucking T. Jono. I don't think this was this at the time though. When was Jono brought in?
2021, 22.
No, he wasn't 2019 actually. No, yeah. Oh, but all right, he's going up to like that. The Jono stuff is great. I'll concede. He's going in like. It's also just because the best scene is like he says something. He's disgusted at Callum. Callum comes out as gay to him, and then he's like, "Oh, you're turning into one of them." And then Phil just fucking come here, and like that's the end of Phil being homophobic. And then even Ben's like, "What the fuck? What? I was gonna do that." And then Phil just absolutely twats him. Gold.
I love that scene to this day because
it is so good.
It's one of my favourite scenes because obviously we both watched Phil being homophobic while he dancing the game with Mary Ben. Or us that on some California girl, they're all unforgettable, and he's fucking Daisy. Who has Daisy Dukes? Daisy Dukes.
Was actually doing that? Didn't he do it to?
No,
to Lady Gaga's like disco stick, or whatever the fuck it was. And he had like the fucking bin lids. Oh, great stuff.
But Callum, they don't know what to do with him at this point. But
at this point they actually knew. Oh, yeah, they don't know what to do with him now. But at the time, they actually had a really interesting trajectory in the end. All right, next up we have Chantelle. Oh fuck me, we're only 40 minutes in. There's still so many characters to get through. Jesus Christ. Next we have Chantelle, who was Mitch's and Karen's daughter, the eldest, had Mac and Mia, and was abused by Gray Atkins, a husband. Where they introduce Chantelle, and it's like, okay, nice, like she's moving into this new home with a family and this dream man, and then obviously it turns out that he's abusive. But I will say, how much of this was done in the first year?
She's introduced in 2019.
She's introduced in 2019.
And
leaves in 2020. Okay, so yeah, the abuse started in 2019, and the exit was one of those things where it felt like at COVID time they went, shit, we gotta stop. Right, we need a big fucking. It was like it's time to do a big topical issue because obviously during the pandemic there were a lot of abusers murdering the victims. Unfortunately, like it just kind of compounded a lot of the fear. And yeah, it was rough, but I will say, I think it's just in like I think the issue with Chantelle is that it felt like there was a lot of wasted potential, I guess. It felt like they could have done a lot more with the character, but they just didn't have enough time with her.
It's like that alien toy you get where you put in hot water and you think it's going to be just in ordinary water, and then you wait for it to come out normal, you wait for it, you get it, this is shit, and then you throw it at the wall and then it breaks.
Yep.
This is how I describe Chantelle. I know people go, that's a shit comparison. That's how I describe Chantelle.
It was very good in concept, but in reality it kind of felt rushed in a way. I feel like if the pandemic hadn't happened when it did, I feel like the storyline probably would have gone on a decent chunk longer.
Yeah. But
I will say, it's probably a good thing in a way because it would have been pretty agonizing to see the abuse endure for as long as it probably could have gone.
But it's just like we brought her in, we've nothing to do, you're being abused, and then your husband's going to kill you, and it's like when you're having sex with a woman or a man, and then they're like, in mid-intercourse, they're like, my granny died yesterday, and you're like, thanks, I don't want to finish now, I don't want it.
Is it bad if I've gotten harder?
Oh, but she by any chance 73. Ooh.
But yeah, just a probably quite a crude analogy for the actual stuff she did on the show. But simply saying, she was very good and very likable, and it just didn't get enough time with her, unfortunately. But she'll go behind Callum. Oh, Denise in this time period. Denise had a lot of bad years in the 2010s. I can't fucking lie to you. I really can't lie to you guys. Like, what did she even do? What did she even do in the 2010s? Like, the early years are a bit rough. She gets into a relationship with fucking Ian Beale, of all people. She has a kid with Phil. She has the story where she does her GCSEs, but also she's eating out of bins and she's like poor and skint or whatever. And then there's like Lucas reappears, and so does Jordan Johnson of Ben Mitchell fame. She has a relationship with Kush, which was shit. Sorry, it was garbage. I can't lie. They then find Raymond, and they give him up for adoption. But then Raymond's family dies, and then they get him back anyways. And then she starts a relationship with Jack. Nah, she's going in hate. She really I'm trying my best to fucking. Yeah, Denise was great. Denise was, oh god, Denise fucking rough in this time. Like, I love Denise now. I think she's great now. Not in the 2010s.
This is like when you get some spicy, you know, like the new Doritos they have out, like the extra flaming hot Doritos. So spicy that'll make you cry and piss blood. And that's not their slogan, but I wish it was. And it's like when you get that and you chew it, and you're like, it's spicy, yes, but it's nothing. It's nothing. It's like when they did the cinnamon challenge years ago. It was like, it's just fucking nothing. And it goes for the same character that's coming up next, but Denise. Love, you had a rough few years. I don't know how you didn't leave the show at some point and just it went like Ian Beale and just went, I'm fucking leaving, guys. Fair dues to the woman actually sticking around, like, yeah, because when you look at like people like Alfie again who were given shit, and then he went, if you're just making me see you next Tuesday, I'm just gonna leave. And they're like, yeah, leave. What do you want us to do? Cry about it? And then he leaves, and they're like, wait, no, don't leave. But obviously Denise went, okay, we're punching you in the face. Okay, I'll stay. Okay, we're punching you in the ribs. Okay, that hurt a little, but I will accept. Okay, we're going to shit on your car. Okay, now you're going too far, but I will stay. Okay, next we're going to throw you out in front of the traffic. Okay, that's a bit extreme, but I will stay.
Okay, how long's this analogy going to go on for, mate?
And then basically that's her through the 2010s. Like, okay, it's going to get better. And then it doesn't.
Yeah, it never got better. So, yeah, she's going in hate. Sorry, Denise. Love you now. Not in this time period. Alright, next up. Dot Cotton. So 2010s. Okay, no, already. It's fucking Hall of Fame worthy. Like, 2010s. Is that when Jim dies? Like, Jim dies in... Yeah, Jim dies in, like... 2013, 2014 type period. When does Jim die? She has that famous episode where she's like monologuing over a tape recorder and recording all the messages. Nick returns in this time period, and then you have the famous 35th anniversary, 30th anniversary, whatever anniversary it is. Fucking yeah, 30th, where obviously she kills Nick, gives him a dose of heroin in the chair of Reg Cox, finally completing the chain. And then she has her friendship with Fatboy, which, you know, really did, as much as we joke about Fatboy being fucking awful because people won't shut the fuck up about it, was still a very, Dot had a great way of making friends with people who were, I guess, undesirable is the word, like with Stuart, probably with Rainey, with Fatboy, a lot of these characters who needed like a bit more love given to them. I will say from the 2016 to 2019 period, I honestly couldn't tell you what she does.
I can tell you what she does. She gets fucking... They give her fuck all to do. They just... You're an old bitch, die sooner.
Yeah.
I'm sorry if that's mean, but that's genuinely what they did.
I guess, and at the tail end, she does get the very nice Dr. Leg dies, and they get a lot of scenes together, and it is lovely. But also, I guess does Dottie? Dottie has to return in this time period as well.
I would make a guess that she returns in the 2020s.
Yeah, it's kind of loosely around there. But yeah, as much as we can hate what she did at the end, it's still a lot of the earlier stuff is still
iconic.
We're still iconic in a way. So
yeah, it's just the end of her career. It's always funny to me. It's just like, guys, I'm slowly fading. Can you please, just kill me? And I went, nah. I actually think you just moved to Ireland in the show.
Yeah.
And it's like, guys, come on, I can do so much better. Like, can you just fuck off and die? Really, that's all we want you to do. Like,
yeah.
We don't care about you. And she's like, okay, you don't care about me. I'm leaving. Like,
I
know
what do you mean you're leaving? It's like, well, you're not giving me anything to do. Yeah, well, fuck you. All right, that's how you treat a fucking lifelong legendary actress, aside from EastEnders, and legendary actress within the show's history. But yeah, at the top of I would die for you. All right, next up, you got Fatboy. Now, look, we can play the bit all we want. I can't hate or dislike Fatboy. I don't care how much everybody's saying, oh, bring Fatboy back, come on. I understand why everybody wants him to be able to come back. Because his exit's fucking rough. Fatboy, an interesting character. A character whose parents didn't want him. He's all alone. He finds this lovely companionship with Dot. He, helps Tamwa and Masood out. Like, he still wants to be a good man. It's just maybe he needed to grow up a little bit faster. And then obviously he gets fucking stuffed into the back of a car and accidentally murked. Like, fucking hell. Alright, what do you do to deserve that? I think, wasn't the answer is he smoked some weed on a video call or some shit? Like, it's something stupid like that, and he gets fucking killed in a horrific way.
Yeah, it is funny. EastEnders is a lot, or not EastEnders, the BBC's the logic. Look, you can kill a man, that's fine, but you smoke marijuana. And you tell you will be fucking killed off. It's like, yeah, but one of your actors just killed a man like years ago. If that was different, you just can't smoke the weed.
Okay, apparently it says he was suspended temporarily from the soap for 2 months after a tape for improper conduct. What the fuck does that mean, lads? What does that even mean? What did he do? He did perform a sex act. So okay, so he smoked some weed and he had a wank, which is still bad. And maybe, yeah, it's still bad. You know what? Probably not something you want to get caught doing if you are on the BBC's flagship soap program.
Oh, it is funny at the same time. But it's just talking with the character.
Who's smoking weed and cybering, for fuck's sake? Who's smoking weed and cybering? Just fucking smoke the weed, have a talk, exit the call, just start typing. Start typing instead, it's easier. Use your words. I don't fucking know. But you can't be in dislike or hate. Should we just put him in alright?
Yes. That's the best of both worlds.
Next up, I will say, can't really see that well. It does look like it's Grant Mitchell, although I do just see a very bold man.
Bob Ross came from a mile away.
He is very distinctive. So, I mean, right, he gets into this for the Peggy Mitchell death, which was great in its own right. He also brought along Michelle's kid and Courtney, and those two characters were interesting whilst they were there. Gets involved in the, like, Ben Mitchell fighting back against the rich homophobe fella who killed Paul. Simon Atwood, something like that. Roughly there. Somebody will know who I'm talking about. Ashdown, is that him? No, that's a writer. Oh well, it doesn't matter. But his presence alone was good. He had a lot of really good scenes to do, but he was there for, like, how long was he there for?
Like 2 months, if I had to make a guess.
Like, he returned in
June.
He returned in 2016. How long was he there for? May 2016. He left in... Oh, the fuck no. Last appearance, when is it? Go on, tell me. Left in September. So he's there for about 5 months.
Where the fuck did he sleep?
Hatfields.
But from watching all the clips of Peggy Mitchell's last run in the 2016, he's pretty much he didn't want to let go of his mother. It's understandable, but you know, it's like that dog that you love, but that dog's slowly shitting, like, in the house. It can barely walk. You know, it's like, just please kill me, just please. Now, I'm not saying that's Peggy, but that is essentially just Peggy being like, I don't want to do this, Grant. And Grant's like, come on now, we can do the greatest hits of our turns. You slap me, I'll say you bitch. I slap you, you say you cow. It'll be like the old times, you know. Grant and Peggy back together, smashing the gavel. And Peggy's just like, leave me alone, Grant. But I don't know where to put him, because he's only there for 5 months, and that is his last return.
Should we just put him in it's either like or you're alright. Like,
alright.
It's because it's simply saying, because of the lack of scenes, what he did do feels like it was greater, but ultimately he didn't do much. And the only reason it's talked about as it was a big deal is because he came back for Peggy's death. Like, fucking, and that's all he did. So yeah, fair enough. Oh boy. Next up, we have Gray Atkins. He's got to go in hate for me. He really has got to go in hate for me. I suppose in this time period, he's got to go in hate. It wasn't as bad as it did get, but, like, you know me, I love EastEnders. I've been an EastEnders fan for years. I was skipping months when Gray Atkins was in his fucking reign of terror. I was like, fuck this. I would wait for months to actually watch. I was like, you know what, fuck, I'll just skip it. Fuck it. Shit. Fucking hate Gray Atkins. Terrible character. Terrible arc.
Gray Atkins is what got me back into EastEnders. It's ironic. I got back into EastEnders roughly January, February, so I really wanted to see the payoff to Gray Atkins. Then I fucked off until December 2022, and then obviously this happened. So Gray Atkins is technically why I'm still here doing Watching Walford, or why I started it. So it's a weird one. But at this time he's just a lawyer. He does then become an abuser. He then becomes a serial killer. He
does have a count of rape to him as well in this time period.
Oh, I only knew the Merm. That's not as bad, but you're really,
You want to
you
know
really,
what's more fucked about it?
well,
Because from what it seems, is that it was shortly after a miscarriage. Oi,
yeah,
that sucks the air out of room. Yeah, I fucking hate Grey Atkins. Like, it's just because it started off interesting because it's like, oh, okay, why is he like this? He had a bad childhood. No one loved him. You know, that's why he can't help himself. But he wants to get better. Then they went, yeah, he was lying about that. He doesn't want to get better. It's like, fuck's sake, fuck, come on. And then obviously, not that we can judge him on the trajectory of from serial domestic abuser to murderer. But fucking hate Grey Atkins.
you know, he is that one friend where you go, yeah, okay, he's a bit dodgy, but he won't say anything bad, and then he just goes, you see, the issue with all these immigrants coming into the country, and like, oh, shut up, you're in a pub, shut up. And then he just goes, see, I don't have to gate, oh my god, here he goes, shut, and then you have to kind of like drag him and sit him down and go, no,
Yeah,
shut
just
up.
like, get the fuck out of here, man.
He's the friend that like, you don't introduce to the family. He's the friend who you call him maybe once a year, you know, you go, how's it going? Is it going good? And then he go, yeah, I'm good. You want to come for a pint? You go, yeah, I'll come for a pint. You never go for the pint with him. And then you just call him once a year.
And then one day in the newspapers you see like horrific crimes and you're like, oh, yeah. But yeah, that's enough of the analogy. The fucking it just ain't good. Just ain't good. All that stuff. I didn't realize how fucking depressing all the shit was about it. Like I forgot about the first part. Like Jesus Christ. But yeah, he goes and probably. Look, I don't hate a lot of characters. I fucking hate Grey Atkins, man.
I don't know the previous writer's name, but he's one of the characters I want to leave in that era of EastEnders because he is like that. He's like that shirt you have, but has the Confederate flag on it, and you can't wear it anywhere because obviously it's the Confederate flag. Then you wear it and you're like, oh no, I regret this. He's the one I want to leave he's the one I want to leave behind me in that wardrobe. Just like you're coming for a 70s theme party, but that's it. That's the only time I'm pulling out that clothes.
Your
So
analogy's
please,
been very strange in this episode. Fuck me.
but just leave him in the
Everything's
past.
got an analogy. But yeah, leave him in the past.